Okay, so now we get to the cabinetry tab. So this tab, when you come to this tab, you're expected to have the list of cabinets that you want for this particular kitchen. Okay. There are a lot of fields here. We'll go through one by one. There's also help in terms of text here that you can actually quickly cover and see what it is. But let's start here. So you have an insert record. So what you can do is, depending on the number of cabinets, you can keep on inserting as many cabinets as you want. You can increase the quantity. Let's say you have a cabinet that is the same, exactly same. You don't need to enter it twice. You can just enter the quantity. So let's go back and discuss some of this content here. So first one is the door style, right? So every kitchen has a certain style. Someone's looking for a shaker door, someone's looking for a modern door. So these are all the material that we have provided, right? But if you're a custom cabinet shop and you don't have any of this material, you have your own material, you can let us know and we can add this material in for you. Okay. So these are the ones that I sell. So you have a shaker doors. So if I want to look at how the shaker door is going to look, I can click on this and it kind of brings up a page that will give you how the shaker door, not necessarily the color, but just the profile, the style of the door. Similarly, I can bring up the other doors. Unfortunately, I don't have the images uploaded, but you can bring up the other doors. Now, so this is the type of the face of the cabinet, right? So when you say door style, just the face of the cabinet. Now, what are the different combinations of the cabinet, right? I mean, we only have maybe 50 or 60 different kinds of cabinets. So I listed all of this here along with an image of those cabinets. So for example, let's say I want a base cabinet with one door. When I pick base cabinet one door, what happens is it predetermines what should be the width of it, what should be the height of the cabinet, what should be the depth of the cabinet. But you can change any of these fields. So by default, cabinet with one door, I'm expecting it to be under 18 inch. So I usually do it 12 inch. All my base cabinets are 30.5 inches. The toe kick is 4 inches, so that makes it 34.5, and then the countertop is 1.5, so that makes it 36, right? So these are Bloom standards, so we follow that. And then you have feature column, and then end panel column, and the action column. This is basically to delete it, right? So now let's look at some of this cabinet. So base cabinet one door. If you're new to this cabinet industry, you want to see how the cabinet looks, you can click on this and it says, oh, okay, this is a base cabinet with one door. The cabinet that we produce does not have the toe kick. So the dimension from this section to this section is going to be 30.5. This is because we use leg levelers. It can be anything from 4 to 5 inches if you want to, or maybe more if you want to. Or if you build a custom toe kick to place your cabinets on, it can be that height, right? So the height of the cabinet is right from this one all the way to top. That is 30.5, right? And the depth is obviously the depth of the cabinet. Most standard depth of the cabinet is 24 inch in depth. And the width can be anything. So if it is one door, typically something like that. So if I look at the other cabinet now, let's say look at a two door. This is a cabinet with two doors. Right? So it just gives you an idea of what the cabinet should be. So it's a clipboard feature, then like a 45 inch cabinet, with a 45-degree. If you want to do a cabinet with skirt, like if I want to do a sink cabinet, I usually have the skirt here that can hide the face of the sink. Right? Usually this is 7 or 8 inches. This gives you an idea what kind of type. Cabinet with drawers, here the cabinet with drawers. So when you do a three drawers, for 30.5, this face and this face are going to be 12 inches and this face is going to be 6 inches. Okay. When you do a two drawer, it is equal. I think it is 12 or 15.25 or something like that. And similarly, you can go and look at all the cabinets. It just gives you an idea. So what you do is you pick one of those. You pick, okay, so I want to do a cabinet one door, one drawer. If a cabinet is with one door, one drawer, if I don't have this, I can actually put a trash cabinet there, right? So that is why the feature column comes into the picture, saying that, hey, what else can you do here? So if I say I want a trash, I can put a double bin trash because one door, one drawer, 18 inches perfect for a double bin trash. So if we give you only the options that is can be done on top of what this cabinet, like what else can I do in this cabinet? That is in the feature section, right? So I can even add a rollout here and a rollout here, like the previous example that I showed you, right? So if I want to do a rollout, I can say, oh, I can add two rollouts. I can say I can add two rollouts. Okay. So the feature column is basically just gives you an add-on to the cabinet that you already picked. Okay, that's the feature column. The end panel is if this cabinet is in the corner. So for example, if I go back and look at this layout here, right? Now, if I look at this layout here, if I'm right now, this is my island cabinet. So I need a panel here and I need a panel here. But if I'm listing this cabinet, I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I need a panel on this side. Right? So you can do that by saying end panel is on one side. But let's say sometimes you just have a small cabinet and you want on both the sides an end panel, you can do two sides. Or if it is a tall cabinet, you may need two sides end panel. Right? For example, if I go back to this layout, if I go to this section here, now I have a tall cabinet here, right? So I need a panel on this side. So if I look zoom in, I need to see I have a panel here and I have a panel here. So in this case, I'll go back here and say I need both the sides panel. Or I need it on one side and also on the back, right? Or on back. So if you don't want to do the panel here, you don't have to do it here. You can do it in the other section. You can do it in the drawer section by adding an extra fronts to it, right? So that is those end panel. Similarly, you can go back and do wall cabinet, any other cabinet, right? So if you want to do things like that. All right. Thank you.